The Hydro Arena looking absolutely magnificent. The fans treated to a really good night of boxing here in Glasgow. So many good fights, maybe not what they expected and wanted from the main event, but they're a knowledgeable crowd, and I think they will show their appreciation for Eka Usman as well. We've got the biggest win of his career. This is beyond the bell. I'm joined by three former world champions, Darren Barker, Baron Jones, Carl Frampton. Gents, it was good, wasn't it, Carl? Start with yourself. I mean, what a good event. Before we get into the main card, I mean the main event, just the whole event was fantastic.
Really good card, lived up to the expectations that we thought previous coming into the night, and yeah, 5 quality fights on the card, and a great night. Obviously, I'm delighted for Echo at the end, but disappointed from a good mate, Josh. Looks like he just doesn't have what he used to have, and that's what happens when you're in hard fights and you get older.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't get to speak to Josh after the fight. Josh left the ring. I think Josh thinks he won that fight. I think once he and his team sit back and watch it, they'll realise they probably lost it by a couple of rounds. A shame for me. Obviously, we've got Nathaniel Collins, but Josh fills this place. And you think, without Josh, are we going to come back here for big events and big nights?
Well, we've said that before, and we always find another star.
Yeah.
In whatever region we're at, you know, we thought that'd be Carl Frost in Nottingham, and all of a sudden, Lee Wood turns up out of the blue. So, in Nathaniel Collins, they might have that future star, that next sort of guy who fills up stadiums and arenas. Josh Taylor's been fantastic, one of the best. I mean, his run to Undisputed was as good and as tough as any fight I've ever seen. So, you know, he deserves his accolades. But I agree with Carl. I just think at one point in your career, you just haven't got it. You can't click into gear. You just can't put your foot on the pedal. All those little sayings that we have. And I think it showed tonight against a guy who's fit, strong, and just the will to win with Esserman.
Yeah, he had it, so to speak, for the first couple of rounds, and that's probably it, isn't it? He looked really sharp. He looked really good. That southpaw left looked like it was landing. And then sort of the engine just seemed to run empty very, very quick.
Yeah, no, it was like a 2-litre engine versus a 1.6. You know, it was an engine that just started to fade. It was a really good start from Taylor. He was in a good groove, showing real desire, fight, and that sort of will to win that we're so used to seeing from Taylor. But as the fight progressed, that was a nice left hand, but it was this man here just started to fire back and sort of, I won't quite say overwhelmed, but certainly outgunned Taylor. You know, 3-4 shots to every one of Taylor's, and yeah, it was a very, very good performance. A performance that Esserman obviously believed that he had in the tank, but you don't know until you're face to face with an elite level fighter like Taylor. Look, past his best, but still, very good performance.
I feel like every time we're assembled, I'm in the ring and I'm asking questions to a fighter in the ring. Is this going to be your last fight? I did it to Joe Joyce, I did it to Lee Wood. I didn't get the chance to do it to Josh Taylor, so I'll ask you, I'll go down the line. Are we going to see Josh again, do you think?
I mean, it's up to him, but I don't think so. I mean, this guy was the elite of the elite. Yeah. He was a superstar, and it's clear he's not the fighter that he once was. So, I mean, it depends what his dreams and ambitions are. I think it was to become a 2-weight world champion, but on a performance like that, it doesn't look like it's possible.
I mean, look at his face there, Barry. It's almost not just the defeat. It's almost like he's kind of, I guess, reiterating what Carl said, that maybe that's that.
Yeah, but to be honest, even if he would have won a very, very close fight, which what it would have been, then even then you're saying you're not going to know really, even though Esserman's shown, might turn out to be a world level fighter, he hasn't shown it yet, so you have to say what level he's boxed at, which has been British level and good at it. So for Taylor to want to box the best in the world at welterweight, which is a tough division, that performance, whether he wins or loses, you say that's not good enough. And I agree with Carl, he's been one of the best, a future Hall of Famer, I would say, one of Britain's very best. And I think it's time to call it a day now, and a fabulous career that we've enjoyed more than most.
Yeah, on the flip side, for Eka Usman, I said it in the ring, right? I mean, a lot of people, all of us were playing matchmaker for Josh Taylor. Surely that should apply to Eka. I know it isn't like that in boxing, right? If you're a name, it's easier to be fast-tracked. But surely he deserves something big with that win.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at that, you think he's cleaned up domestically now.
Yeah.
So it's now the next step. What can he do? And look, every fighter has aspirations of winning a world title, but first you've got to fight for one, and I think he deserves it. You know, he just beaten, yes, an aging Josh Taylor, But I don't want to take nothing away from Eko Esserman. He boxed very, very well there. You got to remember, he's the natural welterweight there. And he, you know, in that second half of the fight, bullied Josh Taylor.
Yeah.
He deserves a world title, Addy. British,
right.
British Commonwealth European champion. He's just beat Josh Taylor. He should get a world title.
Yeah, and he's doing it in everyone's backyard as well, because he doesn't have the following. He's almost going into their backyards and getting victories, which is never easy. Congratulations to all his team. I know a few of the team members, and they work so hard without the victorol, and they've got a big win here tonight. This is probably the hardest question. In terms of the undercard, who had the most impressive performance in the undercard? Bear in mind, everyone got stoppages.
Collins,
yeah.
Daniel Collins. Look, I had that as a real tough one to pick. Probably was just leaning towards Collins. Never tasted defeat, but the way in which he beat McGregor was so impressive. It really was. I mean, it was an exceptional performance. The sharp shooting counter-puncher, but showing, as Barry said it in commentary as well, punches harder than his record suggests.
He was fantastic. And McGregor's a good fighter, but the way he controlled it with the feet, with that front foot putting pressure on him, leaning onto the back foot but still keeping his balance, to make McGregor miss and fall short and whip that uppercut through the middle. I mean, and the punches, the shot selection, the finish of the fight was fantastic. He was clever with it, with the right amount of grit to make him a tough man to beat against anybody.
Yeah, potentially Stephen Fulton, right? He's the WBC featherweight champion. Obviously, Nick Ball's got a title as well, the WBA. So there are routes to go down, and his next fight should be a big one.
His next fight should be for a world title. I think he deserves it.
You're just giving out world titles.
I think it says Echo. I think it says he deserves a world title.
Yeah,
he deserves to fight for a world title. Obviously, you need to go and win that. That's what I meant. But this kid, that was a great performance against a good fighter, and he's highly ranked now with the governing bodies. I imagine all of them, and like Echo, he deserves a world title.
But more importantly, if you want to make a name for yourself, it's impressive performances. And for Collins, that was an impressive performance that'll make him attractive for promoters to put on their bills and possibly get a world title shot because he won in such impressive fashion.
Let's talk about another man who will get a world title shot. Maybe not next, but it's coming, isn't it? Moses Natalma.
Stop it.
Who, I mean, off the back foot, front foot, whatever you want to do, he's got in the locker. He looks incredible.
Just ridiculous. I mean, there's talented fighters, and then there's the likes of Moses Natalma, who I spoke to Bolligan after, and I said, I just want to say, you got heart, you got desire, and you should be proud of yourself. And he went, look, he's a bad, and you know the rest. You know, he's never been in there with anyone like Natalma, and I don't think many will. The man is
and
just
to be
special.
fair to Balogun, he didn't lie down, did he?
No,
he got up and wanted a war all the time.
He come to fight. He wanted to get stuck in,
which was his undoing in the end. For me, the composure for such a young man is not real. It's just almost not normal. I mean, when you're young, the exuberance of youth usually forces mistakes out of you, even though you're good. He has such a calm demeanour that he sees everything so clear, that picture that you don't usually experience. You have to have experience to afford you that. But he has it already, that natural ability just to calm things down, slow it down, which makes him almost like 2 steps ahead of everybody. So when Bulligan came forward, a big guy like that coming at you, he didn't look to block or try and push him back. He just waited for him to make a mistake. And then just take a little half step back, didn't he, Cal? And with a beautiful hook.
He's like Neo out of the Matrix.
Oh my God, we're really throwing a lot at it today, aren't we? Hey, I mentioned Jermaine Franklin as a possible next opponent. That obviously they said they want to get him out on that Wembley card July 19th. Jermaine Franklin, who we've seen take Dillian White and AJ the distance.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Personally, I kind of like some domestic fighters.
Yeah.
I like maybe a Dillian White, a Joe Joyce, or someone like that. That tickles my fancy, if I'm honest.
Oh, I like it. All right. Talking of impressive fights, Alois Jr.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he's got bigger muscles than Mr. Olympia, but clearly knows how to use those as well, right? I mean, this was, again, on paper, quite a tough fight, and he made this look relatively easy.
It was easy. It was easy for him in the end. I think he probably, if he had to put the foot on the gas a little bit earlier, it may have been a round or two earlier. But good fighter, again, improving fight by fight. Really good job. You can see what they're trying to do in the gym with Ben Davison, and the guys are improving him as a fighter. I think the kid has a big future.
Yeah, I was watching some of his
Deserves
previous
a world
fights.
title shot.
I was watching some of his previous fights, and Cal, the world title giveaway, he was saying, Cal, I nicked it from you, he was saying his boxing skills are underrated, and I think he showed that again tonight. The shot selection, it's all about power is great, but picking the right shot for the right moment, and he did it really well tonight.
He's in such a good camp as well. So again, we said this on air, like iron sharpens iron, right? It really is a good camp. I'd love to see if those guys sparred each other. And see Alois Alois versus Fabio, Fabio versus Moses. I mean, you turn off the cameras and let him go, wouldn't you? That would be really, really good. All right, we've had a good feast of boxing here in Scotland. We've had quite a lot to eat up here as well. Your fried Mars bars, your haggis. We've done a bit of everything. Here, look at that, look at that. There's the selection. And we've all tasted a bit of that, to be fair. Drunk a bit of pop as well. But it's everywhere, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, Iron Brew.
It's nice.
It's everywhere.
Very good.
Iron Brew's hard to, but very, very nice.
You guys obviously had to be strict, had to make weight throughout your career as well. I mean, some of the pictures of you two making weight. Oh, I mean, you must have starved yourself. But in terms of after the fight, what was your go-to meal after? Once you've done everything you needed to do, you made weight, you've won your fight, what was the first thing you went for?
Pavlova. Used to love a Pavlova, but it got to the point where everybody knew this, and after one of my fights, I got about 8. And then I'm sick of Pavlovas now.
And no more Pavlovas.
Nah.
Go on.
Mine was weird. It's weirder than that. Because I never used to eat them anywhere else. Tinned pears in syrup is the weirdest.
That's so
What?
random.
Of all the treats you could have,
Of everything you could have, Mars bars.
70 pence worth.
What were you getting paid for a
Well,
face bar?
It's where I grew up, you know what I mean? Beans on toast and tinned pears, that's all we eat.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have an obsession with that for some strange reason.
Yeah, that's...
Do you know what? I was
Caviar.
sucker for punishment. I used to, in the build-up to a fight, the last couple of weeks certainly, watch Man v Food. Do you remember it?
Oh, I used to do that as well.
I don't know why.
I used to do that
So
all
I
the
used
time.
to be, I used to gag for chips and milkshakes and just
All that
rubbish
stuff.
junk that I couldn't have.
Nowadays, you get sacked, wouldn't you, for that?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, everyone just eats the right stuff at the right time. We were stupid and reckless, I would say.
Maybe still a bit, one or the other at least. Anyway, all right, behave here now, gents. Strangest thing you've ever ate?
My wife's cooking.
Oh, that's a
Very good save.
Hey,
Very,
What
very
am I
good
going to
save.
say now? You
Pleasure
my
to meet you, mate. Pleasure to meet you.
Very good save. Very good save. Barry?
Kangaroo.
What?
I
Where?
had a kangaroo
Not over
burger.
here. Okay.
Yeah, I did. A kangaroo over here, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I must have been about 1999. It was alright, actually, yeah.
Someone please call the Health and Safety Authority. And yourself, strangest thing?
I would have a go at anything, if I'm genuinely being honest. I remember my French teacher when I was a kid he brought ostrich into school, and I had tried a bit of ostrich. I've no idea
Any good?
what the French teacher, what the connection was with ostrich in France, but
I guess it would be
it was
good,
all right.
good lean meat, isn't it?
It was
Ostrich,
all right.
you know, good lean meat. Okay, if you had to describe yourself, one food to describe yourself, what would it be? I love how we're doing this thing.
I don't know what I am, but Barry's giving me Brussels sprout vibes.
What are you on
is
about?
it? What?
Hang on a minute.
What are you saying, Darren?
Actually, yeah, he's got a point, actually, yeah. I can see him as a Brussels sprout, to be fair.
You know, I like how we're all laughing, but Darren's thinking, what am I?
No,
Let's go,
I
go on.
don't
What
mind.
am I? What am I? Go on.
Aubergine.
A what?
Aubergine.
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 I thought he
You
said
nearly said it
aubergine.
right.
Aubergine.
he
He
did.
did say aubergine.
He did say aubergine, right. He did say.
Brussels sprout, come on.
Brussels sprout.
man.
Brussels sprout's not a bad bit of veg. Gents, what a good night, right? Honestly, what a good night. I feel like we've had such a good run of events back to back to back to back here. I think we pause for a week. We do pause for a week, but then obviously we all go to Portman Road, which is going to be good as well. Fabio Wardley versus Justice Suni. The big fights just keep on coming. You've got the FIFA Club World Cup coming up as well in America. I'm going out there for that one. They're telling me to go, but I just want to let you know that I'm going out for the FIFA Club
Get off
World
the
Cup.
stage.
Anyway, we'll see you next time. Take care.